I love you with my heart, with my soul, with every fiber of my entire being. How are you feeling right now, beautiful soul? Why does your frequency dip? And what do you do when your frequency does dip? And if your frequency does dip, how long should it dip for? As we start to discover more about who and what we truly are, these incredible multi-dimensional beings, it can be challenging at first, strange at first, weird at first. You know, you're uncovering parts of you that you never knew existed, or had forgotten existed, or had been conditioned to believe that never existed in the first place. And so you're unraveling this mystery. And when you're doing that and you're on this journey and you're starting out, everything is new. Or so it seems. It's just that you've forgotten, really. It's not new, but it seems new to you. And so you're on a certain vibration and you start to do the work, you discover things, you realize that you can up level, you can upskill, you can elevate, you can expand, you can go to another level. And as you do that, something comes in to sideswipe you and your frequency dips. And quite often when your frequency dips at the start of your journey, you don't really notice it that much because your frequency was quite low to start with, for most people, myself included. As you go on this journey and you dive deeper into the labyrinth of your own inner workings, that mysterious stargate of the heart, and you start to explore yourself and get to know yourself at a much deeper level, you get to realize that there is always another level. It doesn't matter how far you climb, you can always go higher, or you can always go deeper. And as you go on this journey and you either raise your consciousness, elevate your consciousness, expand it, and your frequency heightens, and then something comes in to sideswipe you again, and your frequency dips, you notice it a lot more because you've gone from here to here instead of from here to here, or from here to here. And then what happens at the next level of the game, you go even higher. And as your frequency dips, it never really comes all the way back down to here, but it might go to here, but you still notice it. And quite often, to bring your energy levels back up and your frequency back up, it can take sometimes days, sometimes weeks at the start of your journey. But as you get further and further into it, it takes days, sometimes hours, and then you get to a stage where it sometimes takes minutes, seconds, and then ultimately you get to a stage where there's no margin for error. It's actually unacceptable to let your frequency dip. However, sometimes it does. And what you shouldn't ever do is beat yourself up over it. What you should do is just realign, re-engage, come back into equilibrium, come into the 0 point of the heart, and make that choice to be fast and efficient and bring your frequency straight back up again. And as soon as you come into the frequency, into the 0 point, into that love energy, then everything else in your external environment, it can no longer bother you. And you can really bring your frequency back up faster. We're moving into a time and a space right now where we're collapsing so many timelines. We're multi-dimensional beings, and if you're doing work on yourself, or even if you're doing work on a client or a family member or whoever, that work is not just happening to them. That healing that you're facilitating is not just happening to them in this physical realm, in this physical reality. So what's actually happening is multi-dimensional versions of them are coming into healing too. And sometimes on multiple timelines, you have all of this stuff collapsing at the same time. Now that creates huge healing. And quite often a human being can be like this on a bit of a roller coaster, up, down, whilst they allow all this stuff that was old and ancient deep in their cells, deep in their DNA code to come to the surface, because the DNA is like computer code, right? It stores data, it stores frequency, it stores information. Some of it's positive and some of it's not so, depending on the soul experiences that are out there in the field experiencing reality, high frequency reality, low frequency reality, which are all part of the one reality because nothing is separate, right? As we go on this journey and we move through this ascension process, we have to be so in alignment We have to be living from this heart space, right here. Because when you're living from this space, you're so much more conscious. You're so much more self-aware. And so when that frequency dips, you're on it and you feel like something isn't right. And you stop what you're doing. You re-engage your focus and you bring yourself back to where you need to be, back onto that 0 point. Sometimes when you tip out of alignment, it's a good reminder, this is where I don't want to be. Because often as humans, we forget. So the contrast can be important. But as a high frequency being, prevention is better than cure. No one really wants to get ill, and if you have a clean lifestyle and you take care of your thoughts, your emotions, your body, your brain, your physical fitness, you put good foods into your body, you exercise it, you qigong it, you meditate it, you breathe it properly, you love yourself, then it's actually quite hard to become ill, to get disease, injury. Because all injury, illness and disease are results of some kind of emotional trauma that's taking place either in this physical reality or in some kind of other soul experience, which isn't past or future, it's now, because once you get into the quantum field, the past and future doesn't exist. But ultimately, as human beings, we gotta stay on that razor's edge. We gotta stay on that tightrope, knowing that if we concentrate too much, we're gonna be in our head and we're probably gonna fall off. Knowing that if we go too deep into it, we're gonna become unconscious, a too deepest state of meditation and just fall asleep and fall off the tightrope. So the human being walking down the tightrope, walking on that razor's edge, wants to be in the middle, semi-conscious, semi-awake, bouncing between the physical and the non-physical. And by maintaining that space of balance, right on the 0 point, neither dark, neither light, neither up, neither down, neither left, neither right, right in the middle. Neither hot, neither cold. When you dive into the heat, it's too hot. When you dive into the cold, you can't stay there forever. You're gonna freeze. But in the middle, the water's just right. The temperature's just right. So that middle way, that middle balance is where we always wanna be. And if we stay there, riding that middle road, then it's highly unlikely your frequency is gonna dip. Because by riding that train, that middle road, you're whole and you're encompassed in everything. So there's no reason for your frequency to dip, because being whole, you're connected to everything. All of those high frequency elements, all of those low frequency elements, they're merged in wholeness right down that middle road, right in that 0 point. But the minute you come out the 0 point, that's when your frequency can change, because you're not stabilized. And the only human being that can stabilize you is you. And the only human being that can stabilize me, in my reality, is me. So it's a matter of choice. What do you choose? To be stabilized in the 0 point so that your frequency doesn't fluctuate? Or do you want to ride the road next to the 0 point, where you're always getting pulled in and out? Eventually, you should align and come into the 0 point. But again, that comes down to your levels of awareness and how much you can surrender and truly let go and be with the flow. Because the flow will always take you into the 0 point. But when you resist, fingernails dug into the riverbank, ultimately your nails are going to get ripped out. But if you let go, the water will take you into the middle. And you'll flow down the river, down the stream, effortlessly, fluidly, just like water, until you alchemize with the water and become the water. This is where the magic happens, beautiful soul. You are amazing. The question is, do you know that? That's what's important. Do you know that you're full of magic? Do you know that you're an alchemist? Do you know that you're powerful? And that this life, this reality, is there to be enjoyed? We're supposed to wake up every morning with joy as our natural default state, loving every second on this beautiful planet. Do you? If you don't, ask yourself why. And then change something. Because this world is full of beauty, intelligence, magic, and incredible gifts the universe just wants to bestow into your life. But unless you're listening here instead of here, it's going to be a tough ride. A tough ride. I love you so much. You're amazing. Go out into this world and love your sisters and your brothers fiercely and ferociously. Hug them tightly and never, ever, ever be the first to let go. That's the golden rule of hugging, beautiful soul. You know this. And it's a beautiful medicine too. Hugging. It's amazing. Remember to check out our website, starmagichealing.org. We've got some of the best ascension tools on the planet. Go and check it out. You can get access to all of them free right now for 7 days. Meditations, light language transmissions, yoga, breath work, and so much more. All of it to help support you on your ascension journey, to help elevate you on this magical evolution as a human being. Shine your light, speak your truth, do what you want to do, and play life by your own rules. And I'll see you again real soon, beautiful soul. You magical, magical being. One love, one heart, one human family. Peace out, beautiful soul.